Hey guys, so we're going to go back through what we did in class, essentially to build the 4-post Lego unit. So I'm going to walk through this step by step like we did, and perhaps show a couple other ways we might achieve the same goal. Before we get started, I'm including this diagram that I made so we can have our measurements referenced. That's in a PDF format, and I'll have that available I'll put this up on Canvas for you guys to take a look at. So to get started, what we want to do is open up Rhino and start a new file, and we're going to be using we can go to small objects millimeters down here, and that will open up this new space right here for us to work with. Now if you remember, I'm going to walk effectively straight through how we did it in class, and then I'll show one other way to do this. So if you follow along, I'll try to do it as clearly as possible. First off, we're going to start with the top view right here. And the very first thing we want to do is create a line. And if we start with 0, 0, 0, that will start off our line at the very beginning here at the 0 point. We're going to look over here. We're going to see that this base is 16 wide, and we know it's a square, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So 16 millimeter up at the top here, enter, and we'll see that it's given us a length. Okay, and we can go 16 again, 16 again, and 16 down here. Okay, so we got 16 millimeters square base. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my perspective view, and I'm going to select my line tool. In case you didn't notice that last time, I selected a polyline, which is a line that has, it's going to keep on asking for more points so you can create a multi-segmented line. I'm just going to choose this one right here, line, and you got your O snap on over here, and we'll see that we've got end selected, so it's going to find that end point right there. Before I do that, I'm going to click this vertical. This way I know it's going to go straight up and down. I can't go anywhere else. And if we look over here, it's going to be 9.6. So go ahead and type in 9.6 millimeters. Good. And now that I've got that line, I can copy it. So type in copy. Go down here. It's going to be asking the point you want to copy it from. I want to copy it from the origin point of that line. I'm going to copy it over here, and it's going to let me keep on copying it as many times as I'd like. So I'm just going to copy it to these 4 points. Press enter. Good. Now, since this was a polyline, it's all one line right now, so I can just copy this from there to there. So we should have a square there, with posts here, 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 and here. I'm going to go over to my layers here to the side here. I'm going to type in construction lines, and again, construction lines I usually make a layer for that so I can keep the geometry that I'm going to need to help me measure or place objects on some geometry, but likely will not ultimately be the geometry that defines the shape. These are more kind of guidelines in many ways. And if you double click on this layer, you'll see a check mark, and I know that I'm connected to that layer. So we're going to go ahead and select a new line, and with our OSnap selected, we're going to select mid, from there to there, and do it again from there to there. Okay, so now that we have some guidelines for us, again, this is to help us understand precisely where's the middle of each of these lines and where they intersect. This is going to allow us to also, if you remember, create those lines so we can identify precisely where each one of those circular posts begin. So I'm going to draw a line from the center out. I don't want to go all the way across from here to here because I need that middle line to basically make this circular geometry. So to make the circular geometry, I'm going to click this circle center radius, and it's going to be asking me center of circle, and I can come down here and select the middle. I'm going to click back over to my first layer so I add this geometry there. I'm going to click on the mid, and it's asking me the diameter right here. So if I look over here, I can see that the diameter is 4.8. So I'm going to go 4.8 millimeters. Perfect. Then you can right click over here in the mid again, and you can say 4.8, enter, and you could just copy this as well. Turn on your center OSnap. We're going to keep mid as well. So if I come down here, I want to find the center by putting my mouse near the edge of that line. It's going to say cen. I'll click on that, then I can come over here. Oh, it didn't click it there. Press escape. Let me try this again. Center. Okay, now I've got it from the center. I can come over to the mid here, and then the mid here. Without those lines, I wouldn't be able to place these circles precisely where I want them. Okay, so now I can turn off those construction lines for now because I don't need them. You can just click the light bulb there. And what we can do is create a new line because we need to figure out how far up we need to go to make these caps. So if I look at this PDF, hopefully, is it there? No, it is not. Let me check here real quick, guys. 1 second. Okay, so I had to check my notes real quick, but the height of the line is going to be 1.8. That's 1.8 from there to there. So if I go back to my line tool right here, click line, and if we do vertical, we'll know that it's going to go straight up. And with my O snap on, it's going to grab the center here. Real quick, let's turn on our construction lines because this is going to be another construction line. And we'll go straight up 1.8. Oh, let's see that one more time. Vertical 1.8, and be sure to, there we go. Sorry, I was having trouble there for a second, just kind of being fumbling. So I'll do it again just to make sure you can see what I did. So again, we'll go back to our line tool, click on it, push this vertical option right here, find the mid point, or you could also use the center, but it's the same thing. Start here. We'll see that it's going straight up, so we'll punch in 1.8, press enter, and that's not going to complete your line, but it's going to limit the length of it, and the direction. If I go down here, it's going to do it like that. So keep it up, and then left click, and good. We'll have both our lines. Now what we want to do is move, not move, but copy, holding shift, these 4 circles. We'll type in copy. We can either use the mid or the center, doesn't matter. We can just use the mid, and we will just lift them up to the end of the lines we just made. Click on that, say good, press enter, and now we have our geometry. Now you can see I can go back to my first layer here, turn off that layer, and now all that stuff's gone. Now to fill in the box here, if you remember, first things first, what we need to do is well, rather we can just type in planar surface, or you can come over here and select this option right here, which is surface from planar curves, and that's called planarSrf, planar surface. So it's going to ask you to select the curves that you intend to build a surface. Now I just clicked on that. Since all these lines were connected, it's going to select all that rather than if I wanted to select these. I can go ahead and press enter for now, and if we click the shaded viewport, we'll see that it made a surface. But you also see that there's still a curve and a surface here now. What I want to do is select that curve, then come over here to explode. Click on explode, and now you'll see that I've got a curve here. Basically it takes that polyline and breaks it up into segments. This one, since we copied it originally from here to here, I want to explode that too. But not before I want to make a surface here. Just easier that way. So if I take this top curve and I also select these circles, and I come over to my planar surface tool and click on it, it's going to make a new surface, or what we call a trim surface. So it makes a surface, but any geometry that's inside of it that's a closed polyline, it's going to actually use that as a boundary to not actually fill in the surface. So it uses these to cut out these holes for us. That's useful. Now to make the walls, first I'm going to grab this curve. I'm going to explode it so I can grab these individual curves, and now select this curve this one, this one, and this one holding shift. And I can now type in planarSrf, and off click that. Now right click again. It'll start up the planar curves to build surface command again. Click here, curve, 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 and curve. Press enter. And repeat again. Curve, 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 and curve. Press enter. And right click once more. Curve, 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 and curve. Right click again or press enter, and that should close it up. Good. We're looking good. Now to make this geometry right here, we're going to use what we call a loft command. So if we type in loft, L-O-F-T, and for those of you at home, you can see that you can find loft somewhere in here. Like I said, I don't use the icons that often, so sometimes I have to hunt. But loft is in here somewhere. Just type in loft. Select the bottom curve. Select the top curve. Press enter. You're going to see that these two little arrows just popped out. That's telling me the direction that the curve is going in. If they were reversed, the loft might actually twist the geometry, which happens sometimes, but if you see them both going in the right direction, you're good to go. So press enter. You see this loft options menu just popped up. We don't need to do anything now. Later down the road you probably will, but this is good for us because it's pretty simple. Press OK. And now we can do the same thing for the other three caps. So right click, that gives us the loft. Select the curves here and here. Press enter or right click. Press it again. Okay, good. Right click again. Click the curve. Next curve. Right click. Say OK, good. And right click or type in loft one more time. Click on this curve, and this curve, right click, press enter, and press OK, and good. Okay, so we're looking pretty good. Next, we want to fill these holes. Since they are planar, we can use a planarSrf command. So I'm going to type in planarSrf, click this top one, we can click the next one, click the next one, click the next one, and it will do it all at once for us. Beautiful. Now that we have all these objects and surfaces separated, what we need to do is join them together. Type join, and it says up here creating meshes. You actually scroll up a little bit, say 12 curves join into one closed curve and 4 open curves, creating meshes. So we should be good, I believe. If you click on it and it's all lit up, that means it all joined tightly. Now I'm going to show you a interesting command here to get the internal geometry. It's kind of a shortcut. It's called shell. Shell is used to define the thickness of objects. Like if you're designing a plastic part or some type of box that has that is maybe a 1/4 inch thick or something, you can click on the bottom of the box and it's going to basically offset the internal surfaces to give you a shell thickness. I know that if I look over at my diagram that I've made, I believe that's a little bit bigger. I have to check my notes to how thick it was. Hang on a second. I believe that the thickness is 1 millimeter thick. Even though it says 1.2, I believe that's wrong. But we're just going to go with 1 for now. So I'm going to type in the word shell. And it's going to ask me to select faces to remove from closed poly surface. Leave at least one face unselected. Since this is a closed poly surface, I can select this face. Thickness, it's already set for 1 for me. If I press enter, we'll see that it has made me a nice walled object that's still closed, or watertight as we call it. Nice little Lego piece. We'll have to double check the thickness of that. But that's one quick and easy way to build what could have been a somewhat complex object to design insofar as all this internal geometry goes. Now I'm going to show you one other way to make this perhaps as quick or quicker using some different commands. So I'm going to take my box and I'm going to move it off to the side here. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take this rectangle corner to corner. It's going to ask for I believe 2 corners, so if I start it with 0, 0, 0, start it off, and I say that it is what, 16 millimeters. Let's enter. And now it's asking for the width, so if I go to and type in 16 millimeters again, I'll see that it's made a nice box there. Now what I'm going to do differently this time is I'm actually going to use an extrusion command. I believe that you can find it. Again, I don't know where the icons are. So just type in extrude, and you'll see that it really is helpful. It pops up all the associated commands as you type. So it kind of autofills for you. We'll see that the top one is extrude curve. That's what I've got. And we'll see that it now has a box that's going in both directions. It might not be going in for yours. That's because it has both sides yes. It's basically saying it's trying to extrude both sides from that curve. I'm going to click on this and it's going to turn it to no. Now you see that I'm just now going up and down. And we want to, for the height, type in 9.6. And now we have a box. We're going to come back over to our construction lines. And since I built this box in exactly the same place, my construction lines are back here for my use. So I'm going to come back over here to the circle center radius tool. Notice there's a bunch of other ways to do it, but since we have the center point already defined in our construction guidelines, this is the one we want. I'm going to click on it right here. Click there. And we believe it's, what is the diameter? 4.8. Oh, and it's already set for me. So I can just make sure that it's flat here and say 4.8, enter, and done. We can just copy this again from the center, and we'll go to this midpoint, this midpoint, and this midpoint. If it's trying to snap all over the place, you might want to turn off some of these, but be sure that you leave on mid so that you're still trying to attach to the right place. Press enter. Now, just like we did with the just like we did earlier, we're going to first type in planarSrf, and we'll click this top edge, this edge, this edge, and this edge. We'll grab these circles right here, press enter. Good. Oops, I left my construction lines on. That's okay. We can just, with this selected, I can right click my default layer and just say change object layer, and we'll see that it turned back right there. Now, what we can do is extrude these four curves like we did the box. Type in extrude curve, press enter, select your circles, curve, curve, and curve. And we'll right click this and it's going to move up. Oh, I did it again. You can even double click it while you still have the command going. And since I now have still have these guidelines, I can basically extrude them to the end of this line and click on that, and it has now made all four of these extruded. What we can do now is do our planar surface again. Click on the top one, top one, top one, and top one, right click, and I guess down here we'll do our planar surface again, and we'll just click this side. Well, got the whole thing right there. Press enter. Good. Turn off our construction lines. Select it all. Join it. And again, we can come back under here and go cap. Select. No, not cap. Sorry. Forget I said cap. Shell. Thickness 1. Select this bottom surface, and it's going to basically shell everything except for that surface. Press enter, and bam. We now have two exactly two of the same exact boxes, but made a little bit differently. Some leftover geometry right there. We can just delete that. And again, just for some review, we can come back in and maybe change it to a rendered view. or X-ray, so we can see the internal geometry here, or we can say ghosted. And for those of you that are wondering, if you ever want to actually get the dimensions like like we have over here, you can always go over to dimensions from here, or from here under the drafting section. You can say align dimensions, since these are aligned. See that 16 there, 16 there. And to look all professional, we'll go down to our pen tool, and there we go. Looks pretty good, pretty simple. And that's all I've got for you today. So good luck with your pieces. I hope this was helpful, and please be sure to let me know if you have any questions. I will challenge you guys to do all the Lego pieces that you took home. Thanks, bye.